everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing the last summer nail set of the season, and this is the inspiration picture I'll be recreating. I found this set on Instagram and I'll have the original credit on the screen. This is going to be a polygel nail tutorial, so without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to start by trimming my natural nails a little bit shorter. If you're trying to grow out your natural nails, you can definitely skip this step. I'm doing this so that my natural nails don't peek out from underneath my extensions. I'll smooth out any sharp edges with a glass nail file. I personally like glass nail files because they're a little bit more gentle on my natural nails, but you can use whatever file you have on hand. Next, I'm going to clean up my cuticles with a cuticle remover serum. I'll apply it around the cuticles and sidewalls. Let it sit for about 10 seconds, then gently push everything back with a metal cuticle pusher. I'm going to work fairly quickly so that the serum doesn't sit on my skin for too long. And once I'm done, I'll wash everything off with soap and water. Now I'm going to size out my extensions. These are medium almond half cover nail tips from Amazon. I'm looking for a perfect fit from sidewall to sidewall, and if one is too big, I'll simply size down. These tips are very flexible with a minimal C-curve, so I think they'd work very well on a variety of nail shapes. I'm just going to find the right sizes for each nail and set them aside. Next, I'm going to buff my natural nails with a small buffing block to remove the shine. You can use a sanding band and an e-file at around 5,000 RPM if you want to speed this up, but I prefer using a buffing block because it gives me a little bit more control and is gentler on my natural nails. Then I'm going to use this 3-in-1 prep, which is a dehydrator, primer, and nail nourisher all in one. I'll apply one coat of this to my nails, which saves me a few extra steps. Next, I'm applying the Jello peel-off base coat. If you're not using a peel-off base, apply your extensions with air-dry nail glue before using your dehydrator and primer, and then blend the tips into your natural nails. I want these to peel off easily after a couple of days, so I'm applying 2 layers of the peel-off base coat, curing in between each layer for 60 seconds. Now I'm going to use that same peel-off base coat to adhere my extensions. I'm using a flash cure lamp and I'm applying a small amount of gel to the inside of the tip. I'll place it at around a 45-degree angle, let the gel flow towards the free edge, then flash cure it in place for about 15 seconds. I'll repeat that on all of my nails and then fully cure everything for 60 seconds in my big lamp. I noticed I missed these corners a little bit, so I'm just going to fill them in with a little bit of extra gel and cure them again. Now I'm going to lightly blend the tips into my natural nails to make that transition smoother and more seamless. You don't need to remove too much. I'm just focusing on the corners that are sticking out. I'm using a 180 grit sanding band at around 6,000 RPM. Make sure you keep the e-file moving rather than staying in one spot to avoid heat spikes. I'm also going to lightly etch the lengths of the extensions for better adhesion. I'll quickly refine the almond shape at the free edge with a 180 grit hand file. Since the Jello has a sticky inhibition layer, the dust tends to cling to it, so I'm just going to wipe everything clean with some rubbing alcohol before moving on. At this point, you'll want to apply a base coat over your natural nails and the extensions. I actually forgot to film this step, but I'll just apply one layer and cure it for 60 seconds. Now I'm going to prepare my dampen dish. For my slip solution, I'm using 70% rubbing alcohol. I'll saturate my polygel brush, then drain off the excess along the sides of the dish and tap it once on a lint-free wipe. This gives me the perfect amount of liquid on my brush every time, and this is how I'll rehydrate my brush throughout the application. For my first bead, I'm using Wispy Peach from Doper Than Your Nails. I'm going to place the bead onto my nail and start pressing it into place using light tapping motions. I'll work it towards the sidewalls and the free edge, gradually spreading the product until I have an even layer. As you're working, make sure your brush stays hydrated so that the polygel doesn't stick to it. Once the product is evenly distributed, I'll remove any excess and lightly refine the area near the cuticle. You want to leave a tiny gap between the polygel and your skin, but still press the product close enough so that the transition looks smooth rather than harsh. Once I'm happy with that first bead, I'll cure it for 60 seconds. For my second bead, I'm focusing on the area closer to the cuticle and building the apex. You only need about a pea-sized amount of product, and I'll place it away from the cuticle, then use my hydrated brush to gently spread it from sidewall to sidewall. As I get closer to the cuticle, I'll start angling my brush and gently tucking the polygel towards that area, but without actually touching the skin. You want to get as close as possible while keeping the product off of the cuticle and surrounding skin. At the same time, I'm going to drag any excess product down the nail to maintain the shape of the apex. The apex is essentially the highest point of the nail, and it provides structure and strength needed to help prevent breakage. Before curing, I like to take a small clean brush with a little bit of acetone and run it carefully along the cuticle area. This helps make sure that there isn't any polygel sitting on or touching the skin. And once everything looks clean and the structure is where I want it, I'll cure the nail in my big lamp for 60 seconds. And that's it, we have a perfectly formed polygel nail. I'm going to repeat the same process on the rest of the nail, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy some music while I finish up this set. Now I'm going to wipe off the sticky inhibition layer with some acetone to prep the nails for filing. This is what my application looks like before filing. I'm going to remove the excess product and perfect the shape now. I'm using my e-file at around 22,000 RPM with the same 180 grit sanding band from earlier. I'm going to work in back and forth motions across the surface of the nail. If you notice any raised areas that the file hasn't touched, that means the surface is still uneven. So I'll keep filing until the entire surface has been evenly etched. Make sure you're checking your nails from different angles as you work. This makes it much easier to see any uneven areas and helps you get the perfect shape that you're looking for. Once I'm happy with the overall length and shape, I'm going to clean up around the cuticle area. I'll lower my e-file to around 5,000 RPM, still using that same 180 grit sanding band, and hold it almost parallel to the nail. I'm just going to carefully remove the excess product around the cuticle until the polygel lays flush with my natural nail. Be careful not to dig into your natural nail. You don't want to create rings of fire. Keep your file parallel, and using light pressure will help prevent that. I'll also check the sidewalls from different angles to make sure everything is even and the shape matches the look I'm trying to recreate. Once I'm happy with the structure, I'll use my 180 grit hand file to clean up the free edge and any corners I couldn't reach with the e-file. Now it's time to buff the nails. I'm going to use a buffing block to smooth out any filing scratches and really refine the shape. I like to start with the coarser side of my buffer to smooth out any of the remaining imperfections and fine-tune the shape. Then I'll switch to the finer side to remove the deeper scratches and leave the surface nice and smooth. I usually spend around 30 seconds to a minute on each nail, depending on how deep the scratches are. Once everything is nice and smooth, I'm going to wash my hands to remove all the dust. After washing, I'll wipe the nails with some rubbing alcohol to remove any leftover oils and residue so we can have a clean surface for the nail art. These are the polishes I'll be using for today's nail art. These are from McCart's spring collection, along with Valentino Beauty Pure's white gel polish and chestnut cassette from D&D. I'm going to put all of the colors onto my palette, and I'll be using a 20mm liner brush to create my Frenchies. I'm saturating the bristles of my brush with the white gel polish, and to create the French, I love using the A method. It's super easy, and it helps you create really balanced, symmetrical Frenchies each time. All you have to do is place a small line where you want your smile line to begin, then from each sidewall, create a V that comes down towards the free edge of the nail. And once you have those two lines, connect your smile line to the V lines and fill everything in. This gives you a really clean and even French without having to overthink it. And if there are any little corners that need more coverage, you can simply use your liner brush to fill those in. Since we're creating a seashell French, you can actually cure your French at this point and then apply another layer of white over top, essentially creating another French tip. But I didn't feel like doing all that for this set, so I'm just going to leave this layer uncured and go straight in with Chestnut Cassette on an 11mm liner brush. I'm using that color to create the seashell lines, following the curve of the smile line and pulling those lines through the French. Once you're happy with the way everything looks, you can go ahead and cure it. And of course, before you cure, make sure you clean up any gel polish that may have gotten onto the skin with acetone. You never want to cure gel polish on your skin. I went ahead and painted another Frenchie on my pinky, and I'm going to turn this one into a pink seashell nail. Again, I'm not going to cure the French just yet. I'm leaving it wet, but you can if you want to. For this one, I'm just going to do the same thing, except instead of using Chestnut Cassette, I'm going to use this pink gel polish from a cart. When switching between colors, I'm just wiping the gel polish off of my brush. You don't necessarily need to clean it between colors unless you want to. And if you apply too much pink or light brown and you lose some of that white, you can always go back in with more white to touch it up. Now I'm using a 20mm liner brush to paint a French on my ring finger, repeating the same A method, but this time I'm going to make it yellow. And once it's filled in, I'm just going to fully cure it. Before moving on, I wanted to quickly prep my flower petals, so I grabbed this solid white gel from Beetles. I'm going to roll it out and cut it in about 5 small equal-sized pieces, and I'm just setting those aside for now. Before creating the flowers, I'm going to sponge on some of that pink gel polish, so I'm lightly dampening this small sponge with rubbing alcohol and adding a little bit of pink gel polish to the center, and then using light tapping motions to apply it over the French. I'm creating a soft ombre by diffusing the colors as I reach the smile line, and I applied 2 coats and fully cured it. I also used the same technique to create an aura on my pointer finger as well. And now we can go ahead and create the flower. I'm placing 5 petals onto my ring finger slightly above the French line. And to keep the gel from sticking to my silicone tool, I'm applying a little bit of rubbing alcohol before pressing down the product. First, I'm shaping the petals by keeping most of the pressure in the center, letting the outer edges spread out. Then using the pointed end of my silicone tool, I'm dragging those edges outwards and pinching the very tips to keep them nice and pointed. Since they're looking a little bit dented, I am going to go back in over them with the thicker side of my silicone tool and gently press them down again. This helps lay them flatter and gives the petals a more open, spread out shape. And once I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to flash cure the petals in place, then fully cure them in my lamp for 60 seconds. Next, we're going to paint the flower. Since we started with a white base, the yellow will look nice and bright over top. So I'll only need about 2 thin coats of this pale yellow, fully curing in between each layer for 60 seconds. Once that's cured, I'm going to take my pink sponge and lightly add some pink to the center of the flower, and then fully cure it again. Then I grabbed the Jinbei Crazy Thick Top Gel and used my liner brush to place some product in the center of the flower. With the leftover gel on my brush, I picked up a few caviar beads from my palette and placed them in the center. And I flash cured everything in place. I also added some of the gel along the smile line of my French on my thumb and decorated it with a few caviar beads, some pearls, and a little starfish. I flash cured those in place and then fully cured my hand in my lamp for 60 seconds. Next, I top coated all of my nails. Personally, I like to top coat my caviar beads, pearls, and other embellishments because it helps prevent them from tarnishing over time. This is totally a personal preference, but I like knowing that they're protected. I still had a few embellishments to add to the seashell nails, but I didn't want the 3D lines to interfere with that, so I went ahead and top coated these nails first, and then I cured everything for a full 60 seconds. Now onto the 3D lines. I'm using an 11mm liner brush and dipping it into the Jinbei Crazy Thick Top Gel, and holding the brush down for a second to let gravity pull the gel towards the tip and create a nice little bead of product. I'm creating each line one at a time and flash curing for about 10 seconds between each stroke. For this nail, I'm just following the natural flow of the design and bringing the lines together towards the edge of the nail. Once all the lines are done, I'll fully cure the nail. For the seashell nail, I'm doing essentially the same thing, but keeping the lines straighter and bringing them almost towards the cuticle. The nice thing about this particular product is that it's non-wipe, so I don't need to add top coat on my 3D lines afterwards. This step will keep them nice and raised and makes the design more pronounced. Once all of my 3D lines are done, I'm going to fully cure the nail, and then I'm adding a little bit of the Crazy Thick Top Gel where all the lines meet at the top of the seashell nails, and I'm adding those extra embellishments here, some caviar beads, a little seashell, and a pearl. And then I'm going to fully cure everything, top coat it to help prevent the embellishments from tarnishing, and cure it one last time. Lastly, I'm going to apply some cuticle oil. This is the Peach Cuticle Oil from Blossom. It smells so lovely and delicious. It's also perfect for rehydrating the skin around the nails. And here are the finished nails. I absolutely love how these turned out. They're such a warm, fun summer set. I know summer is coming to an end and I'll be starting my fall nail set soon. I hope you've enjoyed all of my summer videos. Thank you guys so much for all of your support on my channel. It truly means so much to me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!